Hey.
Hello, friends. Today is another episode of Read the Fucking Manual. It has been quite a weekend, and near the end of the weekend, we decided to go attack the bad guys. Now, after this attack, we noticed that a lot of people have questions about a certain gear, a certain vehicle in our armory. Uh, these persist to this day, and they also have some assumptions about our intentions as to when we pull this vehicle out. And they're not mistaken on them, to be quite honest, on the assumptions part of things. Assuming our intentions, I mean. So most people, when they see the Naglfar, the big green fleet ship, big green, they believe that they either we're mad, that you know, we believe that they have fucked up, that we're trying to grief them, or rarely that they actually have fucked up in some way. We would like this fleet ship to actually be a legitimate part of combat. Like, we would like you guys to get your own fleet and to come fight us in the Naglfar and the Iconoclast, and in the future, the Infidel and the Idolator as well. However, what was supposed to inspire you has now made people bitter. So, I to be totally transparent as far as I can, on this piece of gear, I have decided to do this video, and hopefully this will answer some questions about what it is, what it does, and how we use it, and how difficult this motherfucker is to use. Okay, so first we have some resing options. If we go /1 HP, that's our normal HP command. This only has 2,000 health, only. I can't change the health in it, all I can switch is LBA or LBA light. We're gonna go with full LBA for now because, we're not gonna get shot at while we're doing this. Hopefully. I mean, Dark is down there, he might warp storm the sim. That would be funny. Uh, anyway, we also have some res modes. /1, if I remember properly, /1 uh mode. Nope. /1 R. Alright, I forget the particular command. Let me see if it's in local. Some Huawei's bitching. No. It may be in. Take this off. It may be in the uh iconoclast. Let me check real quick. It's a standardized command, so here we go. Alright, so /1 help talk. So helpful. Okay. Alright. Clearly, somebody needs to go back through Battlefleet training. Hey. Alright, so you can read this. I mean, it's not exactly super secret. Okay. Yes. Toggles between global resing and local resing. So, global resing is you can just type in a height and it will deploy you at that height in the sim. Local resing, it will deploy you however, whatever you put in as the deployment height it will put you that far above your current position. It's pretty simple. Alright. Excuse me, I haven't been to bed yet. Alright. Get back to topic at hand. The reason I have all this out there is I was doing some silly experiments putting different things from the Naglfar into a rocket launcher. It was quite fun. So, here we go. I have rezzed. As you can see, it sits me on the sit base automatically. That's via RLV. This is... It says it has health, but even if you shoot it, I am still technically on an NPV. That's to make so that we can make sure that when we want to deploy, we can deploy. Now, once it does deploy, once you can see the battleship around me, it takes damage as normal. So, I hit yes up here. It's RLV. That spawns. This all being red is a bug. I don't know why that is, why that happens, but if I just right click it, it goes away. And I have this nice fuck huge portal behind me. It's pretty fucking awesome. Look at that shit. Alright. And if I just move away from that like there, the portal closes. It sometimes has a tendency to, you know, not close or be slow to close and lag, but whatever. Okay, so we are up in the Naglfar. Now, once you're in the Naglfar, we have some things we do. Also, when you first get the control HUD, what you need to do, for those of you who may get the Naglfar in the future, God willing, you know, is you need to put it on, and once you get it, drag it to exactly where you want it. Like edit drag it to exactly where you want it, and then take it off. And once you do that, it will attach and show up in that location in the future. I'm not exactly sure why this has to be done, but it does have to be done. And if you fuck up, you have to get a completely new HUD. Anyway, as you can see, we have a lot of options here. So let's go over some movement first real quick. This is, as far as I am aware, the slowest fleet ship in the SLMC. It has some options, but still. This is static turning rate. It is stupid slow. If I start going forward, it will turn a bit faster. And it has this nice banking effect, as you can see, that returns to normal when I stop turning. This is how fast it goes forward. This is how fast it goes backwards. Much slower. It also, from when I stop pressing the button, it takes a little bit of time for it to actually stop. It has inertia. As it should. It's fuck huge. Okay, I go up. I hit E to go up. C to go down. Some other options I have. I can initiate ramming speed by holding W and S at the same time. As you can see, that doesn't last long. Now, by using the same meter, I have to wait, and it does take a very long time. It should queue up here as to when I can use that again. But I can also initiate a high energy turn, which is slightly faster than the normal turn, by double tapping A or D. at the same time. Or by double tapping A or D, like you would dodge. So, if you ram somebody, okay, there we go, boost recharge. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, and it's already gone. If you ram somebody, they will take damage if they're in a vehicle. Of course, it will actually kill avatars too, like especially ones that are standing on the vehicle, which is quite funny. It will take damage. The target will take damage based on the size difference between the Naglfar and the target. If the target is smaller, they will take much more damage. The Naglfar will also take damage based on the size of the target. If the target is larger, good luck, than the Naglfar, then the Naglfar will take more damage than it receives. Keep that in mind. But don't be a fuckhead about it. Like, there's... Anyway, if we are being griefed around by people's stupid max density bullets or stupid max density AT emitters, we can hold A and D at the same time to immediately stop all of our movement and briefly basically disable physics for the vehicle. Now, if you hold this mode down, you are a fuck. But they are already trying to grief you by pushing you around and shit. So, you know, that it is what it is. Okay, so another thing that we have is usually fleet ships have some sort of warp mechanism or escape maneuver. We have the micro warp drive. So if I hit E and C at the same time, or hold E and tap C, I initiate the micro warp drive. Now I can also, after I initiate it, I can tap E to increase the distance up to 300 meters. I can tap C to decrease the distance to 60 meters. Yeah, and it has a cooldown based on the distance you travel. So max cooldown is around 40 seconds. Okay, so this was actually at the top of the VR platform. I could not go any higher, so that's why that's such an odd cooldown time. I think it's up to a minute. I could be mistaken, but for being thorough, let's test it up here. Let's see. Did I leave a hitbox behind? Doesn't look like it. Okay, we're good. This is gonna be a long video, guys. I hope you're ready to win it. Okay, so let's try it again with a little more room. And I can also tell you what happens if you hit the wall. And yes, you have to re-tap E to get to the max distance again. We're all the way over here. Okay, yes, it is up to a minute. It did not work. It's possibly because I am already near, like, the max height for the sim. In any case. Alright, so that is all the movement options for the Naglfar. We're going to get into weapons! Okay, so as you can see, we have the broadside cannon controls, toggle buttons for doing all the broadside cannon controls at once, both brown and green. And we have different shell options right here. We have different auxiliary weapons up here. We have the main planet cracker cannon. We also have special shell types down here. And when a special shell type is selected, it changes all the broadside cannons to do that special shell type. Okay, so first we're going to go simple. We're going to test the planet killer. So, as you can see, I have the cone out in front of me that moves kind of sort of based on where I'm looking. That is the firing arc. As you can see, I cannot swing it left or right. It just goes up and down. Same thing with the broadside cannons. I'll show you those in a minute. It deals... That is a 60-meter explosion. It deals 150 AT. I can fire 2 before I have to reload. That's a 30-second reload. That's it. I mean, it's a big fucking boom. Okay, so I have the anti-fleet torpedo. These are triggered with F, and these are semi-seeking flak torpedoes, basically. Now, they have a really hard time tracking fighters, but what they do is they look for a target, a seated avatar, within a certain distance, and in the arc within the arc you are looking, and if they find something, they will lock onto and track it. But you do not have to specifically look at a target first. So I fired off 8. Okay, so you can see they come back and hit me. As you can see, that's very strange that they're not dealing any damage. Hang on. I don't know why they don't. Maybe they changed it so you can't hit yourself with them. But I mean, you can see that I take damage. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. There we go. Alright. So, there's that. We also have the bombardment torpedoes. It's that, but for... Ouch. It's that, but for the ground. And you have to be aiming at a fair distance away from you, otherwise you will hit yourself. They only have a certain number of these torpedoes before they have to reload. 35 seconds. And they all do 75 AT. We are considering lowering that before you flip the fuck out. Because I know there's a lot of them, but they still do fire at a rate of 1 every second or so. In any case, moving right along, we have the las batteries. Now, you may notice that when I selected the las batteries, the planet killer went offline. It's because they are fired on mouse 1. As you can see, I am trying to click as fast as possible, and that is literally as fast as they go. When I do not have them selected, they will automatically lock onto seated avatars below me that are not in the same group. And they will fire. And they will do 25 AT each. Okay, okay. So, moving right along, we have the broadside cannons. Now, all these are the same for each. I will just select one entire row, or you can select individual ones. As you can see, you can decide to fire one at a time. And as long as the little green thing is selected, they will fire continuously. They do not automatically track avatars, they don't track seated avatars, they don't track anything. They go where you point, and I will show you by doing this thing. See? I can't even, like, make them track with my mouse. I have to click to make their position update. In any case, yeah, so that's 50 AT. Okay, so these, I was mistaken. The last batteries do 15 AT each, not 25. Okay, so I'm glad we found that out. These are just the concussion shells. I will stop firing. And I will switch to the thermobaric shells. As you can see, they are airburst munitions that shit out a large swath of fire. That's pretty much all they do. This is the old fire, so it will do a good bit of AT, I believe. Constant AT to anybody in that shit. This is the plague gas. Now, this is not the virus bomb. This is, sorry, this is not even plague gas. This is blight gas. There's a difference. The plague is infectious, as is the virus. The blight is not. Let me see if I can make that go a little bit better. It's not great, but seems to be going through the floor a little bit. But anyway, you see that it's just one shell, it's not airburst, but the area of effect is quite a bit bigger. So if I have all these going at once, it can be a little crazy. So let's see. That's in a good position already. Let's go directly below me. So as you can see, I can target a good swath to my left and right and in front of me. But to be able to track a bunch of targets at once, it requires a lot of micromanagement because I have to keep going on a mouse click. There are no, as far as I know, anyway, there are no fucking input commands to switch any of these munition systems. So it's all manual input for weaponry, except for, of course, the automated las batteries. And the constant firing broadside cannons. Anyway, that is that. It's the last of the, quote, regular munitions. Alright, so now we have the virus bombs. Now they work on the broadside shells, as these other shells work. However, they are a lot nastier. They airburst. They have a tendency to get in to a lot of places, and they cover a very wide swath. They also have a very noticeable orange gas effect. As you can see, it is fuck huge. It does 25% damage per tick. I believe that's at every 2 seconds while you're in the cloud. You can also infect your friends if you manage to make it out of the cloud before you die. And this is the ignition shell. If one of these goes off anywhere in the sim, it will set the entire any virus gas cloud. It will set it off anywhere in the sim, like that, and it all goes up in flame. If you don't have virus gas out, the ignition shell, if it hits a target, it has a smaller radius than the concussion shell. And I believe it does 25 AT. So its main function is just to set off the virus clouds. So, another feature that is a little difficult to demonstrate without pissing a lot of people off is the fire tornado. Now, we got asked the question last night, or Deli got accused of drop resing fire tornadoes. So, let me show you why that doesn't work. Let me stop firing here. Get out of this. I found the fire tornado in the sit base. I found the scripts too. This is the Inferno Tornado. If you drop res it, it looks very pretty. But as you can see, it doesn't do shit. It might scare the fuck out of people, which would be very funny, but it doesn't do shit. I can fucking wear this thing. I'm fine. As you can see, you can kind of see how we put it together. It's very cool. It looks pretty. The scripts inside don't really activate. Okay, so how does it work in gameplay mechanics? All right, so if 5 or more people die in relatively the same area, and now this also can if it goes off near like where somebody's at their home, like the spawn. If it goes off near the spawn and they run out of the spawn and get infected and then die again, that also counts as a person. So if 5 people die in a relatively short amount of time in roughly the same area, it will spawn a special gas cloud. The special gas cloud is indistinguishable from the rest. We get hit reports when somebody is infected by the virus bomb, but we don't know like if you know like what the timing is on this to be able to get it to spawn the gas cloud. We have to guess basically or pay attention. Uh but yeah. So, if 5 or more people die in roughly the same area in a relatively short amount of time, it spawns that special gas cloud. And if we fire off an ignition shell at that time, it will spawn a fire tornado. And the fire tornado sucks in avatars from, I'd say a good 10-15 feet away from the center of it and kills the shit out of them. It also moves very slowly across the sim. Uh, and with that, I really can't think of any other features with the Naglfar, so I suppose that ends the video. Thanks for watching. I hope this answers any questions you may have had. If you have further questions, please, please, please ask Dread, because he's the guy that made it, or Hadet, because he knows a lot about it. You know, we are more than willing to talk to people, to be transparent about this stuff. That's the entire reason I'm making these. That's the entire reason we have the Armory Exchange project. Uh, like, we want to be honest with you guys. Thank you for your time.